this homework. So you're not just watching, but you have to go and implement and do things. Thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you. So when you go and you do that, that'll help you. But also, if you have a question you want me to answer, you can go ask in the chat box on my website. So Collectively Married, make sure you follow. And when you click on my profile, you'll see my website right under. Go to the website, ask whatever question you have, and I'll try to answer it. If I don't get to it in this live, inshallah, I'll answer it in the next live. But you can go ask your questions through there. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just answering the questions that have come in. So how do we keep the spark alive in our marriage? They've been married a while and now it's a routine. This happens for couples. And even if you're single, listen up. This is important. When you get married, you fall into a routine. So the best thing, thank you so much for the gift. The best thing you can do is have elements where your routine has some fun in it. Right? Women need to have fun. I see a lot of men that just pay the bills and they're like, that's enough. No, your wife needs excitement. If you make her life exciting, she'll make the bedroom exciting. So focus on that. I know a lot of men, that's the priority. But if you want to keep the spark alive in your marriage, you have to do things that you both like to do. And I'm not just talking about like staying at home. Go out, go check out new events, go experience things together. If you've never gone paragliding, go do it together. If you've never gone hiking, go hike together. Because you get to see each other in a different environment, see how you guys act in a different scenario. Go play games. Like, go play laser tag with your wife. Like, go play paintball with your wife. Go do something fun, something that gets you guys out of your usual routine. Something that can get your blood rushing, get you flowing. When you have something that instills that type of energy in your relationship, it makes you feel more alive. And that is where the spark comes from. Routine kills the spark. Because you're barely having conversation. You wake up, it's like, okay, are you going to work? What do you want for breakfast? Okay, come home from work. Oh, how was work? How was your day? Where are the kids? Okay, like, boring. And every day you're having the same boring conversation. Like, change things up. Go do things that are exciting. Go check out different events. That's the best advice I'll give you. Because if you don't want to have a boring marriage, you want to spark, you have to work. Marriage is work. Just like you wake up, you get dressed, you go to work, you look your best, you try to get a promotion because you want to, be like the best at your job. It's the same for your marriage. You have to work in your marriage. You have to invest in your marriage. When you wake up, don't just be in your pajamas all day. Brush your teeth, put on a little makeup, wear a cute outfit. When ladies get married in a lot of cultures, they'll show you the whole woman's wardrobe, and it's the most beautiful outfits. And then you come 5 years later, and what is she wearing? Like a pajama. She's wearing something that's stained or ripped. No, wear nice clothes at home. We focus so much on looking our best in front of strangers when the only person that you should look your best in front of is your husband. Everybody else doesn't matter. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. Thank you. How do you know when you're ready for marriage? You don't.
Did you put that up? Or
earlier,
do you want
73.
it up? Or
No, it's good. Thank you.
off?
Yeah. What did I ask? How do you know you're ready for marriage? That's a very interesting question. Every person is different, but I'm going to tell you. You know you're ready for marriage when you want to get married. If you're asking yourself, am I ready for marriage? And the only things that are stopping you are external. Like, I can't afford a $150,000 wedding or a $500,000 mahar or whatever. Then maybe you need to find a different woman. Maybe it's not the marriage, maybe it's the woman. Sometimes people will say they're not ready for marriage, but when you dig deeper, they want to get married. But there's so many things that are just outside of their control, like parents that are saying no or friends that are saying no. But they inside, they want to get married. If you want to get married, you'll find a way to do it and do it. If you don't want to get married, you'll find an excuse. So I say you're ready for marriage when you decide you're ready for marriage. What qualities should I look for in a potential spouse? Well, what qualities do you want? you know? Some of us, we want, for example, I wanted my husband to be someone funny. I wanted my husband to be someone rich. I wanted my husband to be strong. I wanted him to be respectable. I wanted him to be a good chef. I wanted him to care about God and family. I wanted him to be respectable and to, you know, like there were so many things I wrote down. And those are qualities I care about. Maybe some wives, and that was what I cared about at the time that I was looking for a husband, which changed. Some things have changed. Even we've grown and we've changed together. I didn't put on my list, I want a husband that has 2, 3, 4 wives. But through talking to him, I realized that wasn't a non-negotiable for me. Through, you know, seeing that he was everything on my list. But when he told me from the beginning, as soon as we thought about getting married, he told me, I'm going to marry, inshallah, more than one wife. And if that is okay with you, we can move forward. If not, then this isn't for us. And he put the ball in my court, you know? So for me, knowing that, it wasn't on my list, but it was something that I was like, okay, you've checked off a lot of things on my list, and this is something different. I didn't think about it, and I just thought about it. And that was a quality that I was okay with. And I was like, you know what? You're an honest man. I've seen how you are. I admire everything about you, how you carry yourself. So there's no problem. I know you're going to do right by me, and I know you'll do right by all the other women too, inshallah. And that was something that I was like, okay, these are qualities I care about. So you decide, what do you care about? What's important for you? And ask. A lot of people don't talk to... Have you ever sat and asked your mom, how's her marriage? Or your dad, how's his marriage? Or have you asked your grandparents or your random aunties, random people you see that are married for 20, 30, 40 years? Ask them, what makes a good marriage? It's my favorite thing to do, to talk to people about their marriage. Randomly, when I was traveling, there was this couple that I met. I was in the UK and they were in the UK, but they were visiting from Australia. And they had talked to me about their life. The man was a pilot and the woman was a teacher. And what was so interesting about them, they've been married like 40 years, or they were close to retirement. And they said that they weren't always together. Because he's a pilot, she gets breaks from him. So he's away for 2 weeks, 3 weeks sometimes. Sometimes she'll go travel with him if she has a vacation and they go together. But that was something that was good for their marriage. To have some time apart, it helped their marriage. That's why when I tell women, when your husband's with his second wife, third wife, it's not as horrible as you think. Thank you so much for the gifts. Sometimes it's a blessing. Sometimes you get more time for yourself to figure out what you like and what you want to do and get your individuality back. You know, a lot of ladies say, who am I? You get to figure that out when your husband isn't, you know, you're not worried, oh, is he cheating or is he doing something wrong? You know he's with his wife. So ask yourself, what qualities do you want? Is there an ideal age to get married? By the way, these questions, there's like one person who's asked me a few of these questions. I'm going to answer them and then I'll go to another person. If you're wondering, I'm answering questions from my website. So you can go to collectivelymarried.com, click on collectivelymarried.com. You'll see my website. Thank you so much for the subscription, Naima. Welcome. You can click on my profile and go visit the website and ask whatever questions you want and I'll answer them. And there's some amazing resources on the website, from books to a program, like a video program. I teach you everything you need to know about how to find your soulmate, how to get married, how to stay married, how to be confident, because you need confidence in every aspect, and how to make money from anywhere in the world using the internet. So, and the reason why I even included the money aspect is so many couples will come and talk about, oh, I don't know how to make money, or I'm having problems in money and it's causing divorce or stress or problems. And so a lot of times people need to know this information. So I just bundle it all together in one program. You'll see as soon as you go to the website, watch that video, it'll tell you everything. Thank you so much for the gift. Remember, it's collectivelymarried.com. That's my website. What is this next question? Can we have role play in our marriage? Yes, why not? Why not? If that brings excitement for you, obviously you guys are consenting adults. And sometimes people will come and ask me these questions, but I say at the end of this I'm not sure if this is a man or a woman. It's an anonymous account. But what you can do is ask your partner, ask your wife, ask your husband, are they interested in this? Would there be something that they'd be willing to try? If you like something and you want to try something, there's no shame in asking your partner respectfully. Don't force anybody to do anything, but tell them respectfully, I'd like to try a role play. You know, how do you feel about it? It's just pretending to be other characters, whatever it is. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Thank you so much for the gifts. Remember, what you do, there's actually one of the imams was talking about this. He said that when you come into the bedroom with your husband, you should drop down the veil of shyness. Meaning, and then when you're done with the bedroom, you should put back the veil of shyness. And that, what he was saying is, when you come, basically he's saying when you're in the bedroom, be a freak. When you're not in the bedroom, be modest. Okay? And I tell ladies all the time, when you're with your husband, you shouldn't feel shy. You shouldn't. You shouldn't hold back anything. Allah has created that halal for you. And I'm using modern language when I say be a freak in the bedroom, because people understand what that means. It means be whatever, like freaky, sexy, all the things that you want your husband to want. You don't want him to look outside and think, oh, all these other men are lucky, I have this woman that just lies there. No, you want him to come home and be like, oh, I have something so amazing nobody knows about. You know, that's what you want. So don't feel weird about role play. Don't feel weird about anything you guys want to try. And people always ask me about anal, and they ask me about having, like, eating each other out or sucking dick. All of these things, different imams have different approaches to it. That's the truth. And so I don't always just give advice, one bland advice, because over the years it has changed. Some people say it's okay, some people say it's not, some people say yes, some people say no. What I advise is you talk to your partner, figure out what you guys are comfortable with, and then you do your research. Do your research. Like, obviously I have never said no. I don't want to say anything and tell anyone don't do something, because someone might say, oh, this is halal or this is haram. At the end of the day, Allah says He made your wife وَأْتُوا حَرْثَكُمْ أَنَّا شِئْتُمْ. Come to, basic harth means what you sow your seed in. Is your woman. You can approach her in any way you like. She's made halal for you. And the same way your husband's made halal for you. So if you want to role play in the bedroom, role play in the bedroom. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Whatever makes your marriage better, do it. Like, there are some people, and I've seen this, like, they'll come here and they'll say, oh, I want my wife to be dominant or whatever. I'm like, did you tell your wife this? Go tell your wife. Maybe she will enjoy it. Especially, you know, the pleasure and intimacy comes from knowing that you made your partner reach peak pleasure. Thank you so much for the gifts, guys. So when you know that your partner has reached peak pleasure because you were able to help them, that should be where the pleasure comes in, you know? So if you want something, go talk to your partner about it. Like, don't go on the websites and watch random porn girls and subscribe to random fans and when you haven't even asked to your wife, or you haven't even tried it. Talk to her, order some random outfits. There's nothing, by the way, there's nothing wrong with toys. They say don't insert them. You can use your own fingers and your own body parts to insert, but don't insert anything else into your wife, except you, basically. But there's nothing wrong with using different toys to get excited, to make your marriage better, especially today. And when I tell you especially today, there's all types of weird and random perverted things out in the world. You don't know, you know, like some people think, oh, I don't want to do this stuff in my bedroom with my husband. But the reality is, he's halal for you. It's better for you guys to do it there than to be one of those wives that has a husband. She knows he wants something, but she turns a blind eye. And then he ends up going to pay someone or going to strip clubs or going out in the streets and getting some disease and coming back. Why? You could save yourself all of that drama, all of those problems, just by learning a thing or two and communicating with your spouse. Sometimes I feel like things are logical and people just don't understand it. Like, there's no shame in it. There isn't. Don't let anyone shame you. Don't let anyone tell you anything. Like, yeah, that's let me get some water. It's your marriage. It's halal for you. Allah has made her halal for you, made him halal for you. You want to try role play? Try role play. Okay, let's keep answering the questions. Thank you so much for the gifts. By the way, if you're just joining, we are answering questions from the website. So if you have any question, you can go to Collectively Married, click on my profile, follow. Thank you so much for the gifts. And go to collectivelymarried.com. You can ask a question through the chat box, and we'll keep answering this. Okay, this is another question about sex. This lady says that she has never achieved orgasm, and she has lied in the bedroom. She's scared to tell her husband the truth because she doesn't want to hurt his ego. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. If you don't tell him the truth, chances are, at some point, you are gonna tell him the truth. We see this all across the board. A lot of women, when they break up with their men, they'll be like, by the way, I faked it. Ha 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 ha. Like she's hurting him or something. You're only hurting yourself. Even if you tell him I faked it, like maybe that's a shot at his ego, but he came every single time. He was fine. You are the one who's not enjoying sex. So talk to your husband. If you need to get toys, get toys. They're not supposed to be inserted in you, but you can use them to help you. And husbands, focus on foreplay. The Prophet ﷺ emphasized foreplay. There's a hadith on it. He said, never get on top of your woman like an animal. There should be a messenger between you. And the messenger is kissing and speaking, meaning you have to physically kiss your wife, talk to her, say things that turn her on and make her feel like excited to have sex with you. Don't just be like, I'm ready, let's go. Like, that's actually a sin. If you're the one who's having sex with your wife and you don't care about her enjoying it, it's actually a sin. Because it's her right. It's her right. Just like it's the husband's right to be respected and obeyed and enjoy intimacy. Most husbands will come regardless of what happens. It's the wife's right to also achieve pleasure. Even if you're done. The better thing for you to do, because some men, when they're finished, they just go to sleep. Some woman will be like, my husband, 5 minutes with me and then he's asleep and he doesn't care about me. What? No, that's not fair. You're the one who's supposed to please her. She's married to you for the rest of her life. If she doesn't get pleasure from you, where's she gonna get it from? Where? Nowhere that you would like. So be the one responsible for her pleasure. Be the one that's invested. Even that'll turn you on. It'll bring the spark back. Someone was asking how to bring the spark back. Show interest in your wife achieving pleasure. Like, don't just make it about you. Okay. What are the keys to a successful long-term partnership? Okay, this question is funny. For me, the keys for a successful partnership is sex, communication, and respect. Nothing that can't be solved if you have these three things. If you respect each other, you're not going to do anything to hurt each other. If you respect each other, you're going to respect each other's needs, which means if you need to have sex, you're going to do that. And if you know how to communicate, you're going to communicate when you're unhappy in a respectful way. So if you have those three things, your marriage is going to be fine. Whatever you face, if you face your husband cheating, or you face your wife cheating, or you face infidelity, you face death, or you face losing your house, whatever you face, because life is long. You don't know what you're gonna face. I've known friends that were married and their husbands were depressed for 3 years. I've known clients that were about to get married and the man they were about to marry died out of nowhere. Like, random things happen to us in life. So if you can do these three things, know how to communicate, and you can't know how to communicate if you don't know what you want. So figure out what you want, communicate it with respect, and sex is important because of the intimacy it brings, the hormones it releases in the body. All of these things they go hand in hand to having a good partnership. So make sure you got all of those. Someone said, what can we do together for fun? Ask each other, brother. If your wife wants to learn something, if your wife wants to do something fun, you guys figure it out together. Figure it out. Okay, someone reached out. She said, my husband is all fine, but he does not like to take me out, me and the kids. I like going out together and he does not. This is a big issue. Sometimes he takes us out, but he is not there. His thoughts always seem distracted. In a coffee shop, I enjoy the coffee and good talk with him, but he looks and hears every other table around. Okay, first of all, I'm going to tell you this. Most men, when they go out with their kids, the wife focuses too much on the kids and not enough on the husband. So focus first on just you and your husband going out. Leave the kids at home. Have your sister come take care of them, your mother, someone, and the kids will have more fun. And you guys will get to have a better relationship together. And figure out, don't just talk, but ask him about his day. Ask him what's on his mind. Take investment in him. Sometimes men just want to break and they just want to chill. They want to relax. They are stressed. Talk to him and figure out what he's interested in. Sometimes men don't like to hang out with their wives because they feel like every time they're hanging out with their wives, they feel like their wife is just bickering or telling them do this, do that, do this, do that. So figure out, communicate. This, I just said it. You have to have communication, respect, and sex. So communicate this with your husband. Tell him respectfully. Like, hey, I noticed that you don't like taking us out. I wouldn't even say, I noticed you don't like taking us out, like me and the kids. Because I know why most men don't do it. Like, they want to be out and free and stress-free. Welcome. And thank you guys for the gifts. So just focus on you and your husband. Focus on giving him the attention. He might need something. And then once in a while, you can do a day with the kids. Just you take them out, or you guys go do something that he enjoys. Maybe your husband enjoys playing soccer. Don't go to a cafe. Go have him and the kids kick a ball around and do something that he enjoys, you know? And that way the kids get their energy out. You can also laugh and have fun with them. So it really did just... What advice will I give a woman whose husband never accepts even when he's wrong? Thank you. That's a good question. That's a tough question too, because sometimes people don't accept that they're wrong because they're stubborn, you know, and you already know this, so that's your perk. You already know he doesn't accept when he's wrong. Then communicate with him. I would need more information, because sometimes it's sensitive, okay? So I recommend that you give me more details on this before I give the advice. That's the best thing. Because I've seen people that will say, oh, my husband doesn't agree when he's right. But when I have a deeper conversation, usually there's two parties. Both of them are stubborn. Maybe the wife never agrees. The husband never agrees. So give me a little more information. I see you're offline. But if you come back while we're still live, then I'll answer your question. Can you have intercourse while on your period? You can't have intercourse while on your period. It says like you shouldn't. Absolutely. In Islam, no. Not on your period and not after you give birth when you're still bleeding. But you can do other things. You can be intimate with your husband. You have hands, you have other body parts. If you want to be intimate, you can use all your other body parts too, to be intimate with your man. But yeah. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And for everybody that has sent, you know, I skipped over them just so I can answer the questions. But everybody that sends thank yous for answering the questions, you're very welcome. I love helping couples. I think there's so many issues that can be solved, again, with just communication, respect, and sex. A lot of marriages can solve a lot of issues with those three things. But people don't talk about this enough, especially in the Muslim world. You know, everybody's like, sex is haram, have shame. Actually, in Islam, you should have no shame when you're teaching. Absolutely, no haya. So for those people that come and try to shame people to not talk about these things, and they're the same people that'll go watch porn, they're the same people that'll go have sex outside of marriage. They don't have shame behind closed doors, but they don't have shame from Allah. And they come and they say all these things. Thank you so much for the gifts. But I'm telling you people, because I know you guys are here listening, you're smart, these things, even if you're single or you're married, if you implement these things, inshallah, they'll help your marriage. And when I talk about this stuff, I've seen it help so many couples. But there's no one that talks about this. I've had imams and sheikhs reach out to me from prominent communities, and they want to marry a second wife. They don't know how to. Or they have sex issues with their wife and they don't know how to. So just make sure to prioritize that. Today, there'll be so many messages that'll come and they'll tell you, especially women. They'll tell women like, you have to compete with your husband. Thank you so much for the gifts, everyone. It tells you that if you want to be happy, you have to be basically like your man. You don't have to. Thank you so much for the gifts, guys. If you actually want to be happy in life, like truly want to be happy in your marriage, tap into your own energies. If you're feminine, there's nothing you can't get by being sweet and having sex with your husband. Like, nothing. Men will I've seen it on TV shows, I've seen it with couples, I've seen it with people I work with friends, in my marriage. If you want something, go ask your man. Ask him sweetly, like dress in something nice that you know is enticing for him and get what you want. But instead, women come, thank you so much for the gifts, thank you. Women come head to head, like, you're gonna be a man, I'm gonna come and tell you what to do. And a big part of it is mentality, it's framework. It's how you perceive things. If you spend so much of your energy cooking and cleaning, a lot of times, men aren't asking you to cook and clean. Your husband, most of the time, is just asking you to come to the bedroom and be intimate with him. Come sit. I've seen wives that are cooking, and the husband will say, come sit with me, come. She's like, wait, I'm cooking. And she did that because she saw her mother do that, so she ingrained that in her head. But that's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to leave the house, leave the kids, go be with your man. You can manage your time better and do that. When you do that, thank you so much for all the gifts. Thank you. When you do that, when you prioritize your man, this is what's going to happen. When you prioritize the house, you're going to tell yourself, he's a kid. I have to yell at him. Because you've taken the role of your mother. You've seen your mother do that. You've seen your mother prioritize cleaning and cooking and all these other things, and she never sat down with your father. And so you take that mentality and you see your husband as a child, so you yell at him and you're disrespectful, and then you have problems. But if you prioritized your husband, and I promise you, there's so many women that prioritize sex with their husbands, the husband will come and help her clean. The husband will get up and cook. The husband will go take the kids out so she gets a break. Just switch your priorities. Prioritize your man, and you will see that it's like an investment. You invest in your husband, he will invest back in you. And then you won't have to be like, I'm cleaning the house by myself, or I'm cooking by myself, or I'm doing all this and that by myself. You're not going to have that problem. Just prioritize your husband. Sex, communication, and respect. I didn't say the house. Obviously, cooking good food is important when he comes home after a long day. But I'm talking about after all of that. Like at the end of the day, you can take everything, let it go, and be with your man. Then you wake up, you wash the dishes in the morning. Let them be in the sink. Thank you so much for the gifts. Welcome, Queen Amra. And thank you so much for the gifts. I really appreciate them. I think most people feel shy to talk about these topics because they're not raised on these things. And most people don't analyze their childhood and analyze why they think the way they think, why they act the way they act. The reason you act a lot of times is because that's what you saw. So if you didn't see your mom with and it's so interesting because as in Islam, they're not supposed to kiss and hug in front of you and obviously do anything in front of you. But it shouldn't be to the point where children never see intimacy between their parents. The Prophet ﷺ used to kiss his wives on their heads, on their cheeks. He used to kiss them. It's not something to be, like, oh, no, I don't do this. Like, you don't have to be that strict about it. And when you don't see that intimacy between your parents, where are you going to learn it from? Movies and TV? No, you're going to feel like this has nothing to do. Thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you. So don't feel shy about this, especially if you're married. If you're looking to get married, I can understand. Maybe you still feel like I'm not ready yet, but if you learn this stuff now, you're going to have a better marriage. Okay, the next question. I'm in love with a Muslim girl, but she wants me to convert in order for us to get married. Anyway, it could be done without me converting. Actually, no. Muslim women can't marry non-Muslim men. That's haram. She can do it. If you love her, she might do it. But what ends up happening is she's going to feel guilt. She's not going to feel truly happy in your marriage. And she's going to feel like... she's just not going to feel right. And I know this because so many women will come to me and say, I'm dating a white boy or I'm dating a non-Muslim boy and I want to marry him. And, will someone marry us even if he's not Muslim? Like, if he loves you, why isn't he learning about Islam and converting? Learn about Islam and convert, brother. If it doesn't matter for you either way, it doesn't matter because you haven't said it, but it matters for her, I would say convert so you can marry her. Convert, learn about it. Islam is the true religion. It'll help you out in every aspect of your life. And if you're following me and you're watching my content, then there's something deep inside of you that's already drawn to Islam. So